What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well and you are enjoying whatever day it is today, your evening, your morning, your afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're having a good one. Today's video, I thought we would sit down and recreate a video that is a little bit more in depth of a YouTube short that I did where I showed you a very quick and easy way to do a cut crease. So I really do like doing a cut crease because I feel like it makes my eyes look way bigger. It gives you a really nice blend and it really helps emphasize that middle and inner corner, makes it just pop, especially if you add like a shimmer. I love doing a cut crease and I think this video is really beginner friendly. So if you are new to makeup, this is a really easy step-by-step tutorial to help you accomplish a cut crease. It's very simple, not much skill required, but you'll be a pro by the end of this. So if you are into the makeup thing, if you like these educational videos, don't forget to click that like button. That helps me know that you are liking this kind of stuff and I can do more. Don't forget to subscribe and let's get into the video. So step one is priming your eyelid. That is very important. I'm going in with my Urban Decay Primer Potion and I'm just going to pack that on to the whole lid. I like to make sure that I take this out as well. You can use a concealer if you don't have an eye primer that you like or have. A concealer that is more of a thicker consistency, one that's not too hydrating is best. And don't forget to set that with a powder once you have placed that where you need to be, but a concealer works just fine as well. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is lay down a transition. A transition is basically like the back curtain of the whole main event. This is a wash of color that we're going to emphasize right in this area, just underneath the eyebrow into that crease. And so you want to choose a shade that is close to your skin tone, maybe just a little bit deeper. Really, you can create any transition color that you like, but I like to have a color that is just a little bit richer than my normal skin tone. I'm going into my LA Girl Pro Mastery palette. It's gonna be the same colors that I did in my YouTube short, just a little bit more explained. So I'm going into this shade right here, which is called Lovely, and I'm taking that on a fluffy blending brush. So you really do need a fluffy blending brush to lay down this transition. Holding it at the tip of the brush is gonna give you a diffused, blended look. Kind of think of like when you're writing with a pencil and you're scribbling, you really are holding it at the base of it. That's not what we want to do here. We want to make sure that we are holding it very loosely at the tip of our brush and just with a very light hand buffing that color in. So we're going in circular motions, we're going in windshield wiper motions, we're stamping the product in where we want to emphasize it. Holding it at the end is going to give you a really nice diffused wash of color. Take your time with this transition and really blend until your arm falls off. Okay, so now that we have this initial laydown of color, I am liking the way that looks. All right, now we're gonna deepen up that shade. We're gonna use a smaller blending brush, one that's a little bit more kind of tapered at the end. It's not as fluffy. And we're gonna take this brush, but we're gonna create a bit more depth in the outer corner. Switching eyeshadow palettes, I am going into my Ace Beauty Falling For You eyeshadow palette, going into this shade called Pine Cone. I'm gonna take this shade on the side of my brush. I'm not really going into the tip of it. I'm really using it on the side of the brush, tapping off that excess. And with this shade now, what we want to do is stamp the color as opposed to fluffing everywhere. And so I'm going to focus this really on the bottom part of my lid, not taking that above where we place that transition. I'm stamping the product where I want to place it on the outer V. And then once I feel like I have laid down the product, then I can kind of blend that in. Now, once we have that color where we want it and we have the intensity that we want, what we want to do is really do a good job blending those edges. So you're going to go back with the first fluffy brush that you use and we're going to take our time blending the edges. We're not really going into the main lid, really just blending the edges. Buffing that in, going back and forth, trying not to fluff it up too much into our brow area. We're really just staying right where we placed it, but buffing it into the crease area. Now we're gonna cut our crease, okay? So what you need to do is grab a concealer, and I like to grab a concealer that is not so hydrating, like my NYX Serum Concealer. That's just way too hydrating for this kind of a thing. I want a concealer that is thick, that kind of dries quickly. So something like a Tarte Shape Tape, which I would never use for under my eyes, but something for a cut crease, that might be great. An LA Girl Pro Conceal would be really good. So just choose a concealer that is thick and that dries pretty quickly. So I'm gonna take my concealer from CoverGirl, the True Blend Undercover, and I'm just gonna take that on the back of my hand, just a little bit like that. What you need now to be able to cut your crease is a small, little, precise brush. You can grab one that has kind of like longer bristles, but I like this one because it allows me to get really, really precise. So a small little brush, you're gonna pick up that concealer on the brush, and so here's what we're gonna do. So can you see, I don't have a whole lot of lid space because I do have this hood over here, okay? But right before the socket begins, I have all of this lid space down before the crease. So I'm gonna put my concealer on the bottom portion of my lid. Okay, so make sure you get really close to a mirror when you're doing this. And I'm going to just, like I said, I'm not going past my crease. I'm just taking it on the bottom portion of my lid, getting in that inner corner, and I'm going probably about halfway. And so once you have it where it is on the lid, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a stamp that's gonna show us exactly where to start cutting. So what you wanna do is look up. That's gonna transfer the concealer onto where your specific lid kind of starts to crease. So make sure you look up, look around. So now you can see where it's stamped our crease area. So all I'm gonna do now is just continue. I'm not gonna add any more concealer on my brush. I'm just gonna follow where the stamp is. So this is the highest part now for me where I need to cut my crease. So I'm just gonna keep going, probably about halfway to the middle of my eye. And I'm gonna take my time with this part and just follow the guide of where our natural lid stamped the part of our crease. And with whatever is left, I'm going to drag the edge of that concealer into the middle part of my lid. I'm not going to go too far into the outer corner, but I do want to create a bit of softness right here, which is going to help create that beautiful blend that we get with a cut crease. And since it's a lighter concealer, you're going to see a beautiful gradient a little bit later when we apply our shimmer. So we're going about halfway to 3/4 of the way in, and now we have a pretty good cut crease. Okay, so now at this point, what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay down a shimmer, and you can lay down any color. If you don't like shimmer, you can add a matte color, but I really like how this looks with a shimmer. So we're gonna add a kind of like a metallic shimmer. We're gonna go back into our LA Girl Mastery palette, and I'm gonna pick up this shade right here, and this one is called Fangirl, and I'm gonna use the same little brush. You can get one that's a little bit bigger, and I'm gonna go over that concealer. Now that we have this shimmer on, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back with our first brush that we did for blending, and we're just going to blend everything together, taking that darker pigment and bringing it in ever so slightly. I don't have any extra product on here, but I'm just making sure that everything is nice and blended, bringing in some of that depth, bringing back onto the lid a little bit. And now this part is optional, but I do think that this makes the cut crease stand out a little bit better. Some people don't like doing this, but I do. If you have a hooded eye, this might kind of be a little bit tricky. You might have to go above the crease area, but go back in with that same little brush and grab a shade that is a little bit deeper, or you can take that same shade we used on the outer corner. I'm gonna take a deeper brown, and what we're gonna do is we're going to outline that main crease area. Now you wanna be really light-handed with this, but just kind of creating some depth kind of makes everything look a little bit more pulled together. And you can make this as intense as you like. I just like to give a little bit of definition. I don't want it to be too dark, just above where we placed that concealer and stamped it out. At this point now, all I'm gonna do is put a little bit of liner, add some lashes. Let me finish all of this up and I'm gonna show you the end result in a second. I am very quickly losing daylight right now, but this is the completed look. I love the way this cut crease turned out. It is so easy to do. You can do it with any color that you want. I kind of want to try it with a green moment and maybe a royal blue, but for an everyday natural look, this is so beautiful. And with the lashes, focusing them on the outer corner gives a really nice lifted effect. And that is it. Now you know how to do a cut crease. If you try this tutorial, let me know how it goes for you. I'm so curious. But that is it, you guys. I hope this video was valuable. I hope it was helpful and that you enjoyed it. So we're gonna end it here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Leave me some comments and let me know if there is something else that you want me to try for you guys. God bless you. I can't wait to see you in my next video.